Hey, what is up guys, Guitar here, welcome back to another Blue Archive video. So let's talk about what is happening right now. So if you guys are not aware, we are going to have a new patch coming soon with Dress Saori and a bunch of other Dress reruns, right? So that's going to be Dress Aru and Dress Kayoko. Now I'm sure you guys are aware by now, Dress Aru is going to be kind of meta. She's very strong in a lot of situations. She is going to be one of the few characters that is going to be consistently being used in a lot of Total Assault and Grand Assault, right? So should you pull for her specifically? So let's talk about it right now in this particular patch. We're also going to have these 3 banners lasting for 1 week, and right after that we're going to have the Roomie and of course Mina. That's going to happen 1 week after. So immediately after this, we are going to have the SHUPOGAKI banner afterwards, alright? So right after all of these characters. So that's going to be when Hikari and Nozomi comes. So make sure you guys are very well aware of what's happening. So let's jump into it. So let's first talk about Dress Saori, because she's going to be the new character. I feel like by far, she's probably going to be the most important one. If you haven't obtained her, should you consider getting her? So what is she going to be all about and where is she used mostly? So she is going to be a little bit difficult to use in most regular situations. Alright, talking about Total Assault and Grand Assault, that's going to be where you probably will not run her. Alright, she's going to be a Sonic DPS character and she's going to belong in that AoE kind of category, right? So what she does is at 4 costs, she will be able to do 1000% damage to enemies within the circular area, as you can see right there. When 8 enemies are killed, acquire 2 skill costs and she will gain 1 battle sense effect right here, right? So that's going to be quite interesting. Can only be used 3 times per battle, so keep that in mind. Now this is going to make it very useful if you're trying to basically increase the skill cost, right? So you have to make sure that she's in a scenario that she can benefit from getting rid of enemies. Alright, her passive skill increase critical damage right here, 26%, and last but not least, sub skill is going to increase her attack speed according to battle sense. Now, where you are going to use her is going to be specifically in this raid boss called Tiphareth. Now here's a situation or a sample where a JP player basically tried to run her. Let me see if I can show it. So this is going to be the run right here. So you can see right here, SHUPOGAKI is being used right here alongside with a bunch of other characters, and of course we also have Aoba, right? That's going to be the free character that will be given, and alongside with that you can see this is going to be Dress Saori trying to get rid of all of these surrounding enemies here. Now if you can get them, then that's how you get the special ability from the normal skill, which is going to be, right, acquire the skill costs and then you get the battle sense. So that's going to make her very useful. Specifically in Tiphareth, that's going to be the upcoming Final Restriction boss. Otherwise, in most regular situations, like maybe you can get away with using her in Kurokage, for example, but we already have seen Hanako for there. I feel like for a lot of normal players, if you're looking to pull limited character, it's better to basically skip her for the time being, right? Just because SHUPOGAKI is coming right after, and SHUPOGAKI banner, both Hikari and Nozomi are going to be limited. So a lot of players definitely, I don't really see the point to specifically get Dress Saori. Now if you are a paying player, you are somebody that's willing to spend a little bit, and also you're looking to get Dress Aru alongside with that as well, then maybe the value is right here. So let's talk a little bit more about Dress Aru, why she is going to be one of the few consideration. Now for those of you who are not aware, she's probably the only character in the striker slot that can buff crit damage outside of Dress Ako. Now Dress Ako is a limited character. If you miss out on her, it's going to be a little bit difficult, right? So Dress Aru is going to give you 83% crit damage buff. The rest of the crit damage buffers, specifically, I guess, are going to be in the special slot. Maybe I'm forgetting someone else. Maybe Christmas Serena do buff a little bit as well. But again, like talking about meta buffers, it's just we don't have too many of them, right? So she is going to be useful in that particular case. She can also help heal a little bit. And of course, she has a 30% chance to decrease crit resistance, making her a very viable character to help decrease crit resistance and also to help boost crit damage. So in a lot of cases, I would say Dress Aru combined with Dress Saori, it makes it like kind of a very tempting banner to pull actually. If you look at both of these value accordingly, if you're looking to get Dress Aru specifically, then Dress Saori wouldn't be that bad. Now I know this is going to sound crazy, but like if I don't have Dress Aru, I might consider, you know, doing 10 or 20 pulls. Not going to go overboard, right? Especially, I feel like getting SHUPOGAKI is still going to be quite beneficial. Now, Dress Kayoko is going to be the other one that's available right there. Sadly, she's not really meta because right now we have more and more piercing type single target DPS characters, right? So alongside with Mika last time, which she competes with, now we also got Uniform Neru, and we also got Pajama Noah, which is very, very useful, specifically in Hovercraft Wakamo, right? If you guys are still doing that raids today, she is going to be a character that can do quite a lot of damage at 5 costs. However, Dress Kayoko is a bit tricky to use because she has this thing called the Infiltration mood. So Infiltration mood basically starts at the beginning of the combat, but it basically cancels if she gets attacked. So basically, if the boss has some sort of AoE damage, or if the boss can summon like minions to hit you, you get hit, boom, you basically lose this particular mood. Now, the thing is, this is like a lot of damage, right? 63% crit damage when you are in this mood. So basically, if you get hit, you have to wait like 10 seconds again before you enter this Infiltration mode. So it is going to be very conditional. Now, there are going to be some situations where you don't get hit at all. Like I believe in Bina, where you can position your character accordingly, but in some situation like HOD and stuff, where the boss is just going to constantly do AoE attacks, that's just going to be very, very difficult to basically utilize her, right? So I feel like for a lot of players, I get it, if you don't want to get her, that's just going to be how it is. So those two are going to be pretty much the highlights, right? So alongside with that, we also got Roomie and Mina. So let's just briefly talk about both of these. I don't think any of these are worth pulling, just because I feel like both of their value are not incredibly high. Now personally, I think a lot of people can vouch for Mina being somewhat useful in Gregorius. So she is a character that can apply plenty of debuffs. You can see 3 debuffs right there, decrease attack, evasion and accuracy. So that makes her one of the viable choice in Gregorius. If you are looking to tackle that, she can also do a little bit more damage depending on the depending on the debuffs that she apply. But there's also going to be like someone like Swimsuit Saki, they can also do that, right? Increase attack, evasion and accuracy when using an AX skill. Not bad for her, that's going to be where she shines specifically. But she's a standard banner character, same applies for Roomie. So Roomie is a little bit more complex because she is a healer, but then, you know, you probably have other healers already inbound like Koharu and stuff. Now if you don't have, then she's going to be a decent option. She can heal you based upon bounces around, but other than that, she is not going to be something that a lot of players are going to sought after, right? So especially her healing is going to be quite good if you can max her out, but the truth is it's going to be a little bit expensive for most players. So other than that, these two characters, I wouldn't say the value are particularly high. I would say like if you want to pull maybe the Dress Saori and Dress Aru banner, this one is going to be much more like, you know, at least meta in a lot of situations, right? You can definitely use Dress Aru in a lot of situations for sure. Now Dress Saori, debatable. But again, I still feel like for a lot of players, if you are looking for limited characters, Hikari and Nozomi makes more sense, right? These two is going to basically be the meta character that you are going to use, and especially in the Sonic category, those two are going to be the one that most players should consider getting. It is a tough one, but I still think that limited characters should get the priority. All of these characters right now are going to be added to the standard banner, so the priority is going to be a little bit less in my opinion, right? So you know, do that with what you will. There's going to be, of course, fast banners at the same time coming right after the SHUPOGAKI twins. Now, if you have 48,000 Pyroxenes, you want to spend 24,000 here, 24,000 on the SHUPOGAKI twins, then that could be a consideration. But in most cases, I wouldn't do it. I would prioritize SHUPOGAKI as a whole. Other than that, this event, you can see Kayoko will be given for free. That's going to be very, very good. We're also going to have Grand Assault cheesed. Alright, so that's very, very interesting, and I believe Tiphareth will be coming very, very soon once SHUPOGAKI comes in, right? That's going to be end of September. So we are breezing through all of this. Double drop is going to be available for Mission Heart, and again, double rewards, and of course, you know, that's going to come for both normal and hard for double drops. So yeah, that's going to be it for this particular video. Again, if you got enough Pyroxenes, maybe you can consider pulling a little bit for Dress Aru. I still think she is probably worth it for a lot of players, but if you don't have enough, it's better to just save 24,000 for SHUPOGAKI to ensure that you get actually you might want to save 48,000, right, just in case you get unlucky, because it's going to be 2 banners. So that's going to be something that you have to consider as well, right? So with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day, goodbye.